Welcome back. We have an update from Stillwater Critical Minerals. It trades on the OTCQB under the symbol PGEZF and on the TSXV under the symbol PGE. It's a mineral exploration company focused on its flagship Stillwater West project in the iconic and famously productive Stillwater Mining District in Montana. Please welcome President and CEO Michael Rowley. Welcome back, Michael.
Thank you, Anna. Glad to be back.
All right, let's hear the update.
All right. Well, Stillwater, hopefully some of you are familiar with our story by now. If you're not, welcome. I'm going to give a short 10-minute update on some key items today. As shown in this slide, we are a big part of the future of U.S. critical mineral supply. We have the commodities listed across the bottom there. And as Anna mentioned, we're doing this from a famously productive U.S. district. That was a forward-looking statement, and I'm sure I'll be making some additional forward-looking statements. Quick overview of the company. We have interest in 5 assets, but really what we're going to talk about today is the Montana project, where we have half of the Stillwater district. That's where the 1.6 billion pound battery metal resource with 3.8 million ounces of precious is located, and that adjoins the producing Sibanye mines. Glencore is now a 15% shareholder and also a board member because of that asset. And this is the largest nickel project in an active U.S. mining district. In terms of the other assets, just touch on them quickly. The Black Lake Drayton Gold Project in Ontario. Heritage Mining is earning into that. They're doing great work. We just announced an amendment yesterday that gives us very good exposure to the gold space. We have another district scale asset in the Yukon, the Kluane Critical Minerals Project, earlier stage. Like that one a lot. Duke Island, Alaska, you just saw a deal on that one on Monday. So you can tell we've been busy, and that the many years we've put into the building these projects is paying off now because we have these cards to play. Lastly, we have a back-in right on the past producing Yankee Dundee mine in BC. As well. So there's a bunch of ways we can add value here as we focus in Montana on critical mineral supply in the U.S. Want to touch briefly on the board and the senior technical team that's driving this. That really presents the vision of the company very nicely. The name I've called out with an arrow here is the most recent addition to the board. Note that he is Glencore's Vice President Business Development. Can't say enough about what it means to have Glencore's VP on our board. That speaks to what they see here, and that's in addition to the other really good names that we have. I invite you to do a deeper dive on our website. I will call out Danny Grobler, Albie Britz, at the far left as well. These are the fellows that joined us from Ivanhoe. In fact, Danny Grobler was the head of geology at Ivanhoe. So you're getting a picture there that we're bringing these giant mine models from South Africa to similar rocks in the Stillwater complex of Montana, and that's exactly what we're doing. We have excellent industry and government partners. Again, keeping this short to a 10-minute update, the most recent additions are the Berkeley Lab hydrogen production and the MOU with U.S. Strategic Metals, which I've called out with an arrow here. They are a producer, refiner of metals in the U.S., and we're very happy to be aligned with them. This is only an MOU, but it contemplates much bigger ways of working together. We obviously would be the primary supply, and they would be the downstream processor. And all of this fits the vision that we've heard from the DoD, the DOE, the U.S. government in general, about building those U.S. supply chains of critical minerals. And that's the key point to what we're presenting here. Our ability to become a key primary source of low carbon critical minerals in the U.S. And we're doing that from a producing district. I have now met with all 4 federal politicians from Montana. That's the point of the picture at top left. They're all pro-mining. And in fact, the fellows on the left and right of the picture, John Tester and Steve Daines, the 2 senators from Montana, they both recently come out with bipartisan support for the lost mining jobs next to me in Montana, and also for the broader picture of U.S. critical mineral supply chains. Really good to see and immensely useful for us as we look to move forward our project right beside them in Montana, of course. We've been in with the USGS now for 6 or 7 years. We're in with the Department of Energy. I understand this is fine print. That's kind of the point of this slide. It's a roadmap to critical minerals funding in the U.S. government. The box, trust me, says ARPA-E grants, advanced research projects. And we're now partnered on $2.75 million US in grants under that program. And that shows that we're in front of the right people and we're doing the right things at the right time. The bigger money is up there under the DoD, and we have applications in progress for larger funding on that. This is towards drilling and PEA studies and feasibility studies in general. Again, the DoD has told us that they want a U.S. supply chain for nickel and cobalt, and that's something we could work with them on. Critical minerals, quick reminder for those that may have forgotten, the U.S. Geology Survey and the Department of Interior now lists 50 minerals that are deemed as critical. This is starting in 2016, and it's been accelerating since that time. These are minerals or mineral material that are essential to national economic and security interests and are heavily exposed to supply chain disruptions. So majority overseas supply. Nickel is a big one for the U.S. The U.S. has one small nickel mine, and it's set to close due to depletion. There are no nickel smelters or processing facilities of size in the U.S. Cobalt, largely Congo. Nickel dominated by Chinese production from Indonesia. Russia, the reason that Senators Dane and Tester took action recently was the anti-Russian dumping of palladium, which is the main product from the neighboring mines beside us. Key point of this slide is that the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 prioritizes domestic supply chains. We are benefiting from that, and that reflects the broader focus of the U.S. government here. And the Defense Production Act of 1950 is being applied to U.S. mining projects, drilling, PEA studies, you name it. And it's a bipartisan thing. It's an act from 1950 that's been used for a variety of concerns to the American people. Quick charts on the rising demand for nickel, copper, and cobalt, our three main battery metals. Again, we have 1.6 billion pounds of these. Significant increase in projected demand for these metals as the world electrifies. What's missing from this chart is the geopolitical aspects of it, because increasingly these commodities are geopolitical in nature, and the IRA recognizes that, and it's one of the few things that does. We're in the right place at the right time here. Those resources, 1.6 billion pounds, 3.8 million ounces in the base case, and that rolls down to about half that size in terms of tonnage in that mid-grade scenario. Grade's gone up, size of deposits has gone down. And then the high-grade scenario in the bottom case, head on into the U.S. is only producing nickel mine. It's unusual to have this kind of scale and grade in a deposit, and it gives us really good optionality on how we mine this and what we do next. As a look at the district, and it's worth noting that chrome mine on the hill, that was subsidized by the U.S. government in past years. Head view, top view of the district. Again, we share the iconic Stillwater complex with Sibanye-Stillwater, and this is an unusual and positive place for a junior to be. The next slide will zoom in on that area. This is the long section that we debuted just a couple of months ago. We've now shown continuity across 10 kilometers of mineralization, and our deposits are shown here as small yellow outlines. This is looking like the Platte Reef district of South Africa, and that is why it's so significant that we brought over Ivanhoe Mines' former head of geology, Danny Grobler. Staggeringly big deposits, 8 billion pounds and 15 billion pounds. So our 1.6 shows we're on our way. Timing. This is a key slide for this audience. The rotation of capital that we've been waiting for into commodities is now underway, and we're seeing that. And our share chart starts to show that now with recent price action. We're up off of bottom. More broadly, the sector. I'll actually go back to that slide. Commodities are heavily undervalued right now, and the rotation of capital from other sectors that we were waiting for last year seems to finally be underway now. We're seeing it in the indices, the gold and silver price, and even in the Toronto Venture Index somewhat. We're excited. We're funded for now. We will be looking to raise money in the new year. I want better indications on that government funding first. It's certainly a good time to look at these companies in the commodity space and consider taking a position as that turn in capital really takes foot. And thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to, please do reach out for further updates. Thank you.
All right, Michael, we are out of time, but we have some questions for you. We'll send them to you so you can answer on your own, but please come back in the near future with some more updates.
Perfect. Thank you, Anna. Cheers.
All right. See you guys soon. We'll be right back with our next presenter.